I have bought a 2024 MacBook Pro. Now, this is a 13-inch MacBook, which means that from the old one that I've had from 2018, it's a big difference. Not only in the processor, the GPU, the literal all main components, but it's also significantly smaller. I thought I'd use it for a week, and I thought I'd give you guys an overall review of this thing, because from this video, there's probably new things coming out, but realistically, are they as affordable, and is it worth your money? So this is my 2024 MacBook Pro with the M4 chip inside. And fortunately, this time I can say there are a lot more pros than cons to this laptop. This is the old MacBook. It's from 2018, and well, this was, at its time, the best type of laptop I've ever owned in my entire life. And now the battery dies incredibly fast. Let me get into this thing here. It was alive and now it's dead. Yeah, that sucks. But this thing is no longer working. It never holds its charge, and to get a new battery would cost as much as getting just a new MacBook, which is the whole reason why I got the new MacBook. But I'm pretty sure this had the Intel i5 or i7 or whatever it was. It wasn't a great CPU, but at the time it was, and it was amazing. Versus this one here, the new 14-inch MacBook Pro. This is the 2024 model. This was made in November, so it's a little bit of a year old, but nothing terrible. It's got the already installed macOS Sequoia 15.5 software. Now, here's the kicker. This thing has the M4 chip. So the M4 chip is actually one of their flagship models. Obviously, they're probably going to get into the 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's how Apple works, right? But it's got a very, very incredible processor. So I think it's a 10-core CPU with 24 gigs of memory. 24 gigs of memory. That's insane. Just like any older PC, when you have more RAM, when you have more memory, the better off you are. Better off things are going to run smoothly, faster, and operate just overall better. I'm not going to turn the screen around because there's info here, but this was the one that I got that had the 24 gigs of memory, 1,000 gigabytes of hard drive storage, and I think it was like 512 SSD or something like that. It was the one that was like mid-grade. So this beauty cost me about $1,900. Obviously, that is the price of a small gaming PC nowadays. When I mean this is worth it, it is 1,000% worth it. I mean, then again, this is 2024. This is a 2018. There is a massive difference in years and technology. And so when this thing turns on and actually wants to work, it will work. But when this thing is here, well, obviously now that I have this, I only use this. But let me just show you some of the things that I absolutely hated about the old MacBook. Firstly, the Thunderbolt cable here. It was the same exact thing on each side, except the right side had a 3.5mm head jack to it. But then I also would need an adapter, which, you know, this thing to this guy, just over time, it just broke from the amount of times I was unplugging it and plugging it back in. Versus the 2024 version has now a DisplayPort cable section, the Thunderbolt connection, which is basically to charge your phone, and then a large SD card slot. So if you ever wanted to just plug something in, you could. So you don't even need an adapter. But if you still wanted to use an adapter, you could. 2 Thunderbolt sections here, even a 3.5mm head jack there. But my most favorite part is that this thing, well, I guess every new Apple product, you're gonna end up having some sort of new thing that you're gonna have to buy. Well, that was this, the charging cable. I don't even want to know how much this was if you have to buy it brand new. Now, I can still use my old MacBook charger. It'll still work. But this one here, it's magnetic. Let me show you this, because in my opinion, this is probably the coolest thing ever. Magnetic, you might be thinking, oh, it's not gonna hold. No, watch this. I'm tugging on that. It's strong. It's a very strong magnet. It charges super fast. This thing, I mean, literally after 2 weeks of using it, it's been nothing but a very awesome thing. Now, it's been hard to get used to because you go from a 15, 16 inch to a 14 inch. So, you know, 2 inches of diameter is pretty big.
That's what she said.
By far, my most favorite thing about the new ones, it doesn't have this stupid touch bar. So, let's put this to the side, and we're gonna take this one, put it up here, and please ignore the fingerprints on the screen. It's just an old one. Firstly, look at the size comparison. I love bigger things. Ignore that. You can see it dies in 2 seconds. Once that's charged, it'll say it's 80%. I wish this one was bigger, but this touch bar was the most useless piece of I've ever had. I never used it. It was very unreliable. Huge fan of the fact that the keys are now raised above the keyboard and the actual surface of the laptop, versus this one was more like streamlined. It wasn't really raised that much, and not to say that was bad. Aesthetically, it was more pleasing, but this truthfully feels more like a laptop. It handles way better, and you still get the functions that you would over here. Also, the little finger registry to open it is 10,000 times more responsive. Then again, it's also a 2024 versus a 2018. However, you might be asking yourself, Robbie, why did you get a laptop that was this expensive? Well, that's a good question. So here's the ordeal. I had got this to game. I had got this to make sure that really all the gaming content or just like this kind of content would be able to be used. Like, it's a lot easier to have like a separate mouse and keyboard and obviously my microphone and all this stuff. But the MacBook was specifically to finish school and do some editing when I needed to do some editing. So it kind of served a multi-purpose function here. I won't need another laptop for quite some time, and that's one of the things too, is that Apple does this. Most people just do this. Like even my Windows 11, like it was a 10 and I couldn't get some of the GPU settings to get installed because it wasn't calibrated that. It couldn't handle it. So when you're in Sequoia 15.5 in a almost 6-year difference, the CPU's not going to handle all that data and construction of components, so you go with the next best thing and it handles it like a charm. So if you guys couldn't already tell, I really think Apple has done an amazing job on these new MacBook Pros. I've never been a fan of the Air just because of my certain aspects of what I'm trying to get out of the laptop, and it wasn't qualifying for it. So the MacBook Pro has always been that much better of a piece of technology. I mean, again, it's the same thing as like if you were to go for the gaming PC, you want to make sure that all the stuff that you're getting within the PC is what you want for years to come, or just be able to comprehend so many different things all at once, which is known as processing. So this guy here, I think what they did was not only made it super convenient for everybody, because firstly, again, you got the display port, you got the USB Type-C Thunderbolt cable, you have the SD card slot, and over here you have the new and improved lightning fast, literally no pun intended, charging cable, two USB Type-Cs again, and then a 3.5mm head jack, just in case you still have them. But like, I absolutely love the fact that they took out the touch bar. I never used that thing in the first place, and when I did, I didn't really use it that much. I mean, it was like I used the keyboard more than anything. And I mean, I think at the time it was a cool aspect because it's like, whoa, a touch screen, touch bar on a laptop. It's really cool. I hate touchscreen stuff, so I hope that they never go to that realm. But I think that's the one unique thing about Apple and its MacBooks, Air or Pro, is that it's classy. It doesn't do what everybody else is doing, but it serves a bigger purpose than what you're even probably intending it for. So, last thing I'll say is that with these MacBooks, the new ones, there are certain differences. So there's, I think the M4, M4 Pro, and M4 Max, they all do different things. It's all about how much computing you can do in a single given multi-thread process. So it's like, do you need the biggest and best one? No. This is mid-grade. $1,700, $1,900 after taxes. But like the biggest one was like literally the price of what I built this PC for. Do you need that? No. It's all about how much are you doing in, say, video editing or rendering or sophisticated solutions within the laptop. I wasn't doing much more than editing. And I tried After Effects, can't do it. So, next best bet was to just get the simple one, save the money, and still have the usability of it. I just, again, wish it was about the same size, a 15 to 16 inch screen instead of the smaller 14 inch. After every one of my videos, I give a little bit of a recommendation. And that is a completely unbiased recommendation because I have both Windows and I have both Apple. So, would I recommend buying this laptop? Yes. For the purpose of video editing, simple task of computing, schoolwork, anything like that? Absolutely. Now, would I say getting the biggest and best version of this be worth it? No, not at all. At that rate, you might as well just get a normal desktop, put the biggest and baddest piece of components in there. Because at the end of the day, you have to think about this. Yes, the laptop is probably really nice. It can do everything that this can do, and it's portable, but wouldn't you rather have a separate mouse, keyboard, and monitor to do everything all at once like that, and it renders like this? Not to say that the other one wouldn't, but it's all about perspective. What are you trying to use $3,500 for? And are you trying to use it for portability and practicality, or are you trying to do that into a desktop like the camera's sitting on right now and have multi-purpose for it? Maybe it's not super portable, but it looks pretty. You have a nice little show here, and well, you can always interchange parts. That's one thing too. So again, I would recommend it. I would definitely save up if you're trying to get something around the one that I have. It's not cheap, but it provides everything that you would want to have in a laptop and way, way more. So with that being said, thank you for watching. Hit that subscribe button if you're new, and I will see you whenever the next one comes out.